I'm Sherry. Welcome to the house next door. I'm welcoming myself back because it's been a few weeks since I've uploaded, but we'll get into that a little later. I want to say welcome and thank you for subscribing to everyone who's new, but also just everyone who's been here. We are to 1,000 subscribers, which is kind of crazy. I think to celebrate, I'm going to buy a battery for my actual camera so I can stop using my phone. But anyways, today I thought we would do a thrift haul of everything I've thrifted in the past few weeks, and then I was going to do some framing. I've been meaning to frame a bunch of stuff that I want to get up in the bedroom, and we'll go over updates, home decor updates and things. So anyways, let's get started. I'll start with frames. The first one I have here is this little combo. It looks kind of DIY probably, but really cute. This checkered frame and then this striped one, and it's in this green color, which I am obsessed with right now. So I'm excited to get something into these. The next one I have is this kind of like a creamy tan color. It's metal, which is one of the reasons I liked it. And I don't have any frames in this color, so I thought it was it'll go nice with the blue in my bedroom. We'll get something into that a little later. I have this blue, kind of a lavender blue. It kind of reminds me of the color of Monica's apartment in Friends. It's also metal. And I didn't realize, never mind, it does have a top. I was kind of thinking for these colored ones to have like a color drenching frame moment. I've seen a few executed really nicely on Pinterest, so I think that would be fun. Of course, I had to get a little chrome moment, a little silver going on. I don't know exactly what this is, but it's also metal. And I've also seen a bunch of these that I have saved on my Pinterest. That one will be nice. And then, of course, a warm wood. You can't go wrong with a warm wood. So yeah, I've got this one, and it's also surprising that it's not scratched. So everything that's in the actual frame I'm gonna redonate, just because some of this is, people spend time and effort into, and I don't want to just throw it away. Let's see what else. I have saved some matting that I might or might not use. We'll see. Again, this came out of a frame. I do like this color, kind of like an evergreen color, so I might use that. Another wooden frame just with the glass, so that will be nice, and it's a little bit thicker. I like to, when I'm thinking about making a gallery wall, I like to mix up not just the material of the frame, but also the thickness, the shape. I don't really, well, obviously I'm not like super minimalist or anything, so I kind of bring that same energy to the gallery wall, which is just kind of hectic, not uniform, and just go with the feeling of what feels good to you when you're picking out your frames. Another glass one. This one I think this one already had a picture in it, which I already removed. And I might keep the matting. I'm not sure on this one yet. This took some time to gather all of these frames. Lots of trips to the thrift store. It wasn't all in one go. This might be my favorite one. Typically you would use it like this and have it on a table, but I'm planning to use it this way and having some of my Polaroids in here. So I think that will be really fun and unique. And then we have a big guy over here. It's another chrome frame, and it's got some nice matting in it already, so I probably won't change that. I think I will just add in a more colorful picture or sketch, because a lot of what I'm framing are going to be actual photographs, like family photographs and sketches. Sorry if my voice is not good today. I am sick, so. But yeah, maybe a more colorful maybe a watercolor sketch or something my son drew in here will be good. One of my friends drew a portrait of me when we were in university, and I kept it. He even signed it actually, but I want to frame this. I was looking everywhere for it and I finally found it. So, yes, is it a true likeness? Anyways, here is some more matting that I saved, and it's got one of my son's watercolor sketches in there. There's another one in the back. I'm not sure which one I will keep. Well, I'm keeping both of them, but I don't know which one I'll frame yet. We have another wooden frame. I like these very thin wooden frame that they're kind of, I don't know, they just feel older to me because they're such a thin frame, and also it looks pretty old. Oh, here it is. 1992. Older than me, at least. Yeah, I like this one. This one will probably have something fun, like just a tiny little picture on it. I do have more frames that I'm going to be using for the gallery wall, but I have already shown those in other thrift hauls. So, or I've had them for like years. So I'm not going to show those now. But later on, when we're putting the gallery wall together, I'll show you guys. So next, we're going to move on to books. Over the past few weeks that we've made some upgrades to the bedroom, we did put a couple of bookshelves in there. So I've been on the lookout for books that I kind of go with the color scheme, and I also would be interested in reading. So this one is by Richard Paul Evans, The Locket. I just find this type of material in the cover really pretty, along with the color. I like the more old style lettering here. So that'll be really pretty. Next book I have is Anne of Green Gables. It's in this very pretty maroon color, kind of like feels old. Let me see if I can find the year. 1986. This will be really nice in the bedroom. I guess I should say this is mostly a thrift haul, but there are a few pieces I'll leave for the end, which are just new home decor items. So yeah, but this portion is all thrifted. Then I found this really cool book, another red book, if you can't tell the theme here. And it's got I don't know what this type of page is called, but it almost feels ripped and it's a little bit heavier. But it's got Edward the Third and then his family tree from 1312 to 1377 is when Edward the Third lived. So this is all from before his time. I just thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I'm interested to read more about his family. Excited to get into this one too. So my dad was a tailor, and I have lots of memories growing up of going to these big fabric warehouses to pick out textiles, and mostly I would just run around the warehouse while he picked out his stuff. But I just remember like kind of weaving in and out through the rows of fabric and just always having a really close connection to textiles. And so I had to have this book Textiles Today, also in red, but it's got some beautiful, just from like around the world, and it ties into architecture. And then the next book I got was actually a gift for a dinner party that I hosted. It was a March Sisters dinner party that I hosted in April. But we basically watched the 90s version of Little Women, and I kind of had the house all decorated in that style that they have in the movie. And then I brought a copy of the book for all of my guests, and one of my guests couldn't make it. So I have an extra copy, and I got one for myself. So now I have 2 copies, but that's fine. I just thought that was such a fun cover. Really sweet. I started reading this. We went camping and I read it to my boys, meaning my husband and my 5-year-old son, while we were camping, and that was nice. These are the drink menus that I made for the party. Basically, I made a drink for kind of like after each of the characters. Then the last new addition, I actually found at an antique store here in Salt Lake City, and it's called Luxury Designs for Apartment Living. I don't live in an apartment, but as you may know, my house is small, so I kind of thought it would be nice to include this in my collection. Yeah, it's really pretty. Another shade of red. What's new? I'm excited to have this one. And then probably my favorite find, thrifted find this year, is this cutlery. I'll have some B-roll with better footage, but I just watched all of them. But if you watched my gift, maybe it was under my gift ideas video, I had this in there. Of course, I thrifted these, and I had to dig through a lot of cutlery to find all the ones that matched. And I kind of just picked my favorites. I left more. People at the thrift store were swarming me when I started to pull these out. So I definitely wanted to leave some behind for other people. I got one in this really pretty deep golden yellow, kind of mustardy color. And then I found some in this kind of like a lavendery blue, sky blue color. And they're not perfect. Obviously, with this material, it scratches so easily. So there's dents in it and stuff, but I don't really care. And then I found this speckled green and this creamy off-white. And yeah, I can't believe I found this, you guys, because this has been on my Pinterest board forever, and obviously I could just buy it new, but it's kind of cool to have your like for me, my Pinterest board is kind of like my thrift list. I put stuff on there that I really want, and then I try to keep them in mind when I'm out thrifting. But yeah, that has been my favorite find of the year. And then I saw this evergreen enamel bowl made in Spain, and I couldn't leave it behind. And then I put the cutlery in the bowl to check out, and I was like, that looks so good. All of the colors against this green. So I'm going to style my dining table with this bowl and the cutlery and try to figure something cute out. The next piece was also from a local antique store here in Salt Lake City. And it's been on my list for years. After I saw Brooke from Nesting with Grace, she thrifted something similar years ago. And since then, I was like, oh my goodness, I need one of those, because it just adds so much character to one of the smallest spaces in your home, your bathroom, or that's where I'm keeping mine. And it's a vintage, colorful scale. I think hers was pink, but yeah, I saw this red one and I immediately was like, I don't even care if it's $50, I'm going to take it. And it ended up only being $20 at an antique store. Are you kidding me? I don't usually go to antique stores because their prices are sometimes a little more than a thrift girl wants to pay. I have to say, this one that I went to was very affordable. Like, I'm going to definitely go back. Everything was priced so well. I mean, obviously more than your thrift prices. The next little find is this candle holder I've put in my bathroom. It's from the Smith and Hawken brand from Target. I could tell immediately, but yeah, still cute. Then I found this little lunch picnic basket, but can you believe it? It's missing the little clasp here, but honestly, like, you're holding it by the handle, so it's not that big of a deal. Right now, I just have it hanging on my yellow door in the kitchen. And then I forgot what I was watching. It was either a YouTube video or a movie, I'm not sure. But they had a apron in their studio, and I was like, you know what? I want an apron in my studio. So I found this red one at Savers. It's probably just what the clerk uses or the cashier, but it's got these big pockets in the front. So, and I like that it's the sides just tie up like that. And I think it's maybe vintage. It's also made in El Salvador, which I'm not from El Salvador. My family's from Honduras, so we're neighbors. That's also hanging on my yellow door. There's one more item that I found at an antique store, which blew my mind, but it's outside and it's kind of big, so that will have to wait until a little bit later in the video, or I'll stick it in here. Okay, guys, what I found were these Loretta armchairs. They're not vintage, but they're in the 1950s style. I went to IKEA because we're redoing our back patio, or not redoing, but kind of actually putting some attention into it because it's been kind of neglected the last year and a half that we've been here. So I went there to get one of their patio tables, like a picnic table sort of thing, and the umbrella, the whole thing. So I'll show you guys that when I'm out there. But I also picked up this dish towel or hand towel to go in the bathroom. I just really like striped stuff right now, plus a pop of color, and this has both, so I couldn't leave it for $3. Then I picked up this desk mat. I donated the last one because it got really dingy and old and it just wasn't fun. It was just like when we were setting up the office initially, we bought the black one and I didn't really like it. So got this one. Hi, Sai. I heard you found a ladybug. I'm going to get you sick before you have your surgery. This next piece is this plate that I thrifted in this really beautiful blue and like speckly brown. I'm really trying to get rid of all of my, or not get rid of, but donate my regular plates, I guess. I just want everything to be fun and happy and, I'm excited to use. I might keep no, I probably won't. I really just want to get rid of my regular black plates that I have and just find something more special. And this is more special to me. So I wish I could find like 5 to 6 more plates like this in different colors. That would be really nice. Okay, we already put this up in the bathroom, but we also picked this up from IKEA. It's just one of those extendable mirrors, and it's in this chrome finish. And my husband had the beautiful idea of hanging it upside down, and I love it. I think it adds more to it. We initially picked up this pattern for that same blue towel, and that's why I picked up the blue towel, because I ended up loving this one so much. So Okay, probably my second favorite thrifted find is this pottery piece made by Joanna, and it's in this beautiful green color with the brown speckle. I love the finish on it. I'm not sure where this is going to go. Right now we have it in the bathroom with our toothbrushes in it, but I might move it somewhere else because it's kind of hidden in the bathroom and I kind of want it to have its own moment. That concludes the thrifted portion, unless I'm forgetting something, and I'm sure I am. I also found this beautiful piece from Portugal that has these cute strawberries. I'm going to use it in my next dinner party. I got this cute striped mug, and then my friend came over for dinner and brought this book for me. So now we're going to switch on over to the framing portion of the video. Showing you guys forces me to actually get this project done. So I'm going to pick out a few photographs and sketches, and we're going to start that. Okay, guys, I'm sorry you're going to hear my old laptop in the background, the fan turn on and off, but I'm going to start. I have never done this before, so I'm not really an expert. So we're just going to go off by what feels right. Okay, this is not the exact shade of blue. The other color I have is this brown color. Ooh, I kind of like that actually. No, I don't like that. And then we need to choose what picture we want to do for this one. Either a Polaroid or... All right. And then we also have units from plain little is puzzles together. But it's definitely. All right, while I'm working on these frames, I figured I'd update you guys on what I've been doing for the past few weeks. So it finally got warm in Utah, and I've been going on some sunset bike rides. I'm trying to go as much as I can during the summer while I'm not in class, but those have been so beautiful. It's my favorite way to de-stress, and just the views are spectacular. I'm super lucky to live near this greenway. I've also been working on my portfolio because I had to apply to the School of Architecture after getting into the University of Utah. So I just was working here on the background for this image. I ended up retaking the photos in a photography lab so that I didn't have to use a fake background. But I retook some pictures of my old models. And then I also started to rewatch Friends. It's just a go-to for me. And then I noticed in Chandler's apartment, he has this really nice container, and I'm trying to find it, but have not been successful. Then I've been going on lots of walks with the walking group at my job. Those have been really nice. Like I said, it's been warming up here, so everything has been blooming, has been turning green and lush, which I love this time of year. I got a honeysuckle plant for my front porch. We're going to hang up a lattice this weekend to get her growing. And then we tackled the back little area that we have here. It's kind of become just a dumping ground for old projects or that bed that I threw out. My dog, she's been having seizures, and she had an accident on the bed, and it's not one where I could remove the cover and wash it, so we had to get rid of it. But I'm trying to clear out everything here, and as you already saw, we got the outdoor table from IKEA, and then those the chairs that are in that vintage style. So we had to make room for that. And then I have that cute little blue table back there that I found at Home Depot. It was one of their display tables, so it was marked like 75% off. So that is going to go under this mulberry tree that we have. Besides that, the black table actually goes in our front porch, so that'll be moving back up. And then everything else is either going into the shed for storage, lots of tools and things that are Justin's, or just being discarded because it's either like stuff that's been rained on or just trash, basically. We do have lots of plans for the backyard. Our landlord is pretty lenient as far as us doing little renovations, and he's offered to pay for those, or at least half. Mostly he'll pay the whole thing and we just deduct it from rent. So that's been really nice. So what we want to do in this back area is extend this like deck area. We want to actually have it to be wooden. And then you might see in the earlier video showing the new table that Justin got rid of that old railing there. It's actually rotted out and lots of wasps and things are living there, so he took that down. And then here we are just cleaning this glass so that it, looks better from in the sunroom when I'm working on my projects and things. It has not been cleaned since we moved in, so we're cleaning that up and making it look a lot nicer. I was also focused on working on the final project for my last workshop class in the program I was in. A little update of what I'm doing here. I'm just cutting out little squares because I want to frame this sketch, kind of like a photo booth sketch that we had done last year at a farmer's market. Then we updated this corner in our bedroom. We put some shelves in and then mounted the TV. And we have this cozy corner now where I can watch TV while Justin's playing his video games. We continued painting the room the darker color. And then this is another iteration of the final project. This one was not successful, so we went back with another idea that we had, but I really liked this one. I thought it turned out pretty cool, but we went a different route. So we ended up with this idea. It's basically a building with these kinetic structures that move according to the sun path. First long walk of the year. Okay, back to project work. This is my favorite glue ever to use. I was making a diorama here and working on the landscape. We ended up using cardboard as the base just because it was the easiest to work with. And we started to pour in a sand mixture, put in some dowels for the boardwalks. We're going to have a little bird watching area, dock, playground. We poured some resin to showcase the pond on our site. Things were really starting to come along for the project. Switched over to continuing working on my portfolio. Then Justin put up these shelves for me above the bed. We went on some nice walks to some new coffee shops we were trying out. So I was in his scooter. Here's a little sample of the landscaping we were going for so the judges could see up close. You can see in the background there the soil that we were working with. And then it was just taking some final pictures to add to our boards, our presentation boards, and I added some to my portfolio as well. Justin had to go to the dentist and he found this new dentist, and I could not believe how beautiful the building was. It's in this old style apartment building almost with this courtyard area, and it's got these beautiful mature trees. I'm literally going to switch dentists just so I can come back to this building. It was just stunning. I stayed for a little while taking videos. Okay, and then one morning I woke up to drop my son off, and there was a huge fire just a street over from where I had to drop him off. So that was kind of crazy. Then it was time for final presentations.
Come to our water education system and come there on a field trip and really learn about the
and each pod on our building would be the class.
Finally, spring semester was over, so I took advantage and went on some very long evening walks. I think I did like a little over 8 miles this day, but it was really nice. Silas and I like to go on little dates, so this morning we woke up early and walked over to the French bakery and picked up some pastries. I got some coffee for myself, and then we sat outside and enjoyed that. That night I had my dinner party for the March Sisters. My friends came over, we watched the movie, we had dinner. Then it was Utah's raining season, and it rained for probably like 2 weeks. But I love the rainy weather. I love when it's this cloudy, beautiful, super green everywhere weather. So I enjoyed that. I have been thrifting quite a bit. I'm trying to put together a new wardrobe. I donated a lot of my old clothes, so if you guys want to see maybe a thrifted clothing haul, that would be fun. I think I would be totally down to do a video on that. And then, surprise, surprise, I graduated from the program I was doing at the college here. It was the architecture program, and it happened to be on Mother's Day weekend. So right after that, we did a little road trip up to Idaho and went camping at one of our favorite spots. Then for Mother's Day, we also went around to a few antique and vintage stores. This one was pretty cool. Everything was extremely pricey, like I'm talking about $1,500 and over. So we kind of just walked around and enjoyed everything. I did get a book from here, the small apartment living book. And then we went over to this vintage store. I picked up the scale from here. And then I also got those chairs. And then life kind of just went back to normal. It was really nice to kind of rest and enjoy my family before fall semester starts back up. Then the wall sconces I ordered for our bedroom back in early April finally came in, and they were honestly exactly what I was wanting. Okay, a little update where I'm at here. I am going to move on to this picture frame. We're going to do a staggered cutout for these and get those framed.
So unique, because you wouldn't see that in a store or anywhere, it's just so unique to me.
Okay, so here is a before of what the lighting situation is like. Yeah, I think that looks good. Try it in between the shelf just to see how it looks. No, that's way too low. Yeah, on the top.
It can't just be on with one.
So here's the after. We still need to plug in the light on the right, but we need to get an extension cord. Then we also put up a track system, took down the old curtain rods, and put up these new IKEA curtains. Our grapevines started to blossom again. I love how green this area of the house gets. And then we have these really tall, beautiful, lush trees as well. I just really enjoy our backyard. Okay, so that was it for the updates. The rest of the video will just be me finishing up these frames, and then I'll show you where I put them. I didn't get to putting the whole gallery wall together. I placed them in the areas that I want them to go up, so you'll see that at the end of the video. But again, thank you for being here. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me, guys. Okay, and that was it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. if you love design and you love and decorating your home and all of that, you know that your home is never really finished. So that's kind of why I haven't shared my entire home all at once, because there's just so many projects going on. But if you want to see other home decor, home design things, then go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.